So once again, good morning, everyone. We do have a couple of people who ended up coming here to the temple. So we have both people at the temple as well as online. Again, Happy New Year's to those who I've yet greeted this year. And welcome to our January monthly memorial service in which we remember our loved ones who passed on during this month of January. And we'll begin this morning's service with a moment of silent meditation, followed by the recitation of the name of the Buddha or the Onenbutsu. Please join me in Gasho. Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs, Naman Nobs. Next, we're going to have a reading of the homage in Tisarana, and I'm just going to share that with everybody. Just give me a couple of seconds. I have to bring up the document. Very cool. There it is. Okay. Oh, I lost it. Sorry about that, everyone. Where did I put it? Oh no, that's not what I want. Here we go. Homage. Okay. Okay, you should see it on your screen now. So we will be reading together the homages and three treasures. Homage. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone, we go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depths of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone, we go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Next, we will continue on, and we will be actually chanting the Sambujo, followed by the chanting of the Sambutsuge. For those of you who are here at the temple, the Sambujo in the purple Satan is on page 89. So if you have a purple Satan in front of you, it's on page 89. And then the Sambutsuge is on page 73. During the Sambutsuge, I will put on the screen the names of individuals who passed on during this month of January. When you see your loved ones' names come across, if you could come up and burn incense. For those at home, if you do have an incense burner and you wish to offer incense during that time as well, please do so. Namandavs, 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 namandavs. Please join me in reading the English translation, which you see on your screen. We respectfully welcome Amida Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome Shakyamuni Buddha to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We respectfully welcome the Buddhas of all times and places to our temple as we scatter flowers of joy. We've gathered here in the quietude of Amita's temple to commemorate the January 2022 Shotsuki monthly memorial service, in which we remember and honor the memories of loved ones who have passed on during this month of January. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gasho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions, and may the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dharma. May the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amita's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. No mandops, no mandops, no mandops, no mandops. 진 녀세 삼마이 지혜 이조 고세 너금은 의여세가 이사이가 이사나야 계시음은 야그센 너그마 무료나이셔 준영자 그여이사이 이노쇼문 은영은도 겐쇼약 인여거자 조무드세가이 무가예 무시세드도 오묘시쇼 엔시쇼공 녀세쇼지 이진난려 료가사붓 로그노나이치 거시기며 노조조셋 오그녀나여 님은 어서 아노이미 노다드이사이 지모라이쇼 인내드쇼조 이동하고 에라그노 에어브드시며 내가 시셔 오드가 너희 리기쇼쇼요 지모세소 지혜무게 조료시소 지가신교 계려시시 여그도그즈 가여조지 닌주 나마나부 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 가니 No more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs. Please join me as we read the English translation of the Sambutsuge, which you'll see on your screen. Sambutsuge translation, praises of the Buddha. Your face shines in great splendor, boundless wondrous dignity. Such the greatness of your light, beyond all comparison. Brightness of the sun and moon and the shining money jewels, when compared to your brilliance, seem to us like blackest ink. Tathagata's countenance transcends all comparison. The great voice of awakening resounds throughout the 10 quarters. Your precepts, learning, effort, meditation, wisdom are virtues beyond all compare, ultimate, supreme, and rare. Your deep meditation has fathomed all the Dharma sea to the limits and the depth of all things the Buddhas teach. Ignorance, anger, and greed, the world-honored one has none. Like a lion among men, measureless your great virtues. Vast are your great virtuous deeds, your deep wisdom is profound. Your radiant luminous light shakes all the world's foundations. When I become a Buddha, equal to the Dharma King, I will transcend birth and death, liberating all beings. My giving, discipline, precepts, patience and effort, meditation and wisdom shall be supreme, unsurpassed. When I attain Buddhahood, everywhere fulfill my vow, bringing peace and tranquility to all beings in doubt and fear. Though there are myriad Buddhas beyond measure, beyond count, and great sages numberless, like the grains of Ganges sand, I will honor each of them equally, accepting none. Even more importantly, I will seek the supreme way. Even though all Buddha worlds are countless as Ganges sands, even though all lands and realms are boundless without measure, yet my light shall reach them all and illumine every place. Such shall be my perfect work, such my power infinite. When I attain Buddhahood, my land will be first and best, place of practice transcendent, its people sublime and rare. My land is like nirvana, beyond all comparison. In my sincere compassion, I will enlighten all beings. All who come from 10 quarters to be born into my land will be pure, filled with gladness, peace, and great tranquility. O Buddhas of the 10 quarters, this my true revelation. In this way, I've made my vows, and I will strive to fulfill them. Buddhas of the 10 quarters, with your wisdom unimpeded, may I always call on you to reveal my intentions. Though my body undergoes so much pain and suffering, I will persevere and strive patiently without regret. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Yeah, try also. Okay. And 1, 2. Once again, welcome everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here with you for this service. And I'm just going to bring up one more thing here to share with you as part of my Dharma talk. And many of you have seen this image before. Can you all see? Yeah, I think you can. You could see this on your screen now. This is an image of what we call the Mikairi Amida Buddha, or the Buddha looking back, Amida Buddha looking back. And I wanted to share this picture with you because it is quite unique. It's showing this Buddha, the statue of Amida Buddha, instead of looking forward, looking over his left shoulder like this. And the story behind all this, take that off now, okay. And I'm just gonna Okay, good. So the story behind this statue, and many of you have heard me before, have talked about it before, is that this happened around 700 AD, I think, maybe a little later. But in Nara, Japan, is where the capital was at that time. And there's a very famous temple there called Todaiji. Many of you, or some of you, may have gone to Japan and seen the Daibutsu-san, the large statue of the Buddha. It's considered in the UNESCO heritage site as the world's largest standing wooden structure, this Todaiji. And in there is the very large sitting Buddha. And so anyways, the head of this temple at one time was a monk by the name of Yokan. And Yokan one day found in the warehouse or the storage house of Todaiji this particular statue of Amida Buddha. And he thought something spoke to him about this statue. And it touched his heart. So he wanted to actually bring out the statue to the front. Now, this statue was donated to Todaiji by the imperial court. It used to be at the imperial court. But the emperor at that time told Yokan not to bring that statue out. So he wasn't allowed to bring it out. So a number of years passed from that time when Yokan decided he was going to step down from being the head minister of Todaiji. And so he was he left Nara and was headed for a temple in Kyoto. As one of the things he wanted to do was to bring this statue of Amida Buddha to the forefront. So he is said that he tied the statue of this Amida Buddha, whether it was in a crate or whatever, I'm not sure, but he tied it to his back and he walked to Kyoto. But on his way, the other monks from Todaiji found out that Yokan had taken the statue and they went to retrieve it from him. And the legend says that no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't take the statue off his back. I don't know why, whether there was some mystical power or whatever. But anyways, so they gave up basically, and Yokan went to Kyoto. And he was in a place called Eikando, and in that Hondo, he placed that statue of Amida Buddha. And it was when he was 50 years old, it said that he was doing a daily practice. And one of the practices that is common to many Buddhist denominations is what we call the walking meditation. And as part of the walking meditation, what you do is you walk around the statue of the Buddha. And as you're walking, you recite the name of the Buddha. And it was said that Yokan was doing this practice when suddenly the statue came down from the pedestal and started walking in front of him. And as Yokan saw this, he was so shocked that he stopped in his tracks. And it's then when the Buddha, supposedly the statue, turned his head to the left and looked over his shoulder and said, Yokan, come on, follow me. And so this statue, ever since then, it said, is a statue with his head turned over his left shoulder. If I can share that with you one more time, just so you can see what it looked like again. So it looks like that, right? Okay. Now, the reason why I bring this up to you, well, first of all, because January is the month in which you remember our loved ones passed away, but in fact, our loved ones are our spiritual guides, okay? And also, the reason why I brought up this particular picture was yesterday on New Year's Day, after the New Year's morning service, I went home and my wife and daughter and I had a bit of ozoni, the mochi, the New Year's mochi with the soup. And afterwards, there was a little bit of lull in time before our guests came for dinner. So my wife and I were just sitting and watching on the Japanese TV. Around the New Year's time, they have all these, I guess, New Year's programs. And there was actually one interesting program where these rakugoka are storytellers, Japanese storytellers. But in this particular program, these storytellers were interviewing, I guess it was a compilation of different programs throughout the year, but they were interviewing well-renowned Japanese, mostly entertainers, actors, actresses, etc. But there was one particular person, and I can't remember her name, but she actually happened to be a doctor who headed up a vaccination program. And she wrote a book entitled Kokoro no Vaccine. And Kokoro no Vaccine means the vaccination of the heart. Okay. And the reason why she wrote this book, she said, was because it had actually nothing to do with coronavirus, but she used to be heading up the vaccination program for measles. And it was one day, she said she was talking to a parent whose child contracted the measles and was suffering. And the parent said, had I only known the harms of measles and the benefits of vaccination, I would have gotten my child vaccinated before. And the doctor at that time realized that what she had been doing up until then in her programs is that she had been writing for other doctors. So very, very complicated and technical terms, etc. And what she realized then was that the common person, like this mother, didn't understand any of that. And so they felt very distant from the information that was available for vaccination. So what she then did was she started writing these pieces for the average person, very easy to understand. And so the interviewer then was asking this doctor how she saw us moving forward, going out of this pandemic. And it's then what was really interesting was this doctor then talked about this particular statue of Amida Buddha, the one that I just showed you from Eikando. And she said, you know, this statue is very famous and it's looking over his shoulders and it's expressing, she said, compassion, looking over his shoulders to see if anybody has fallen, if anybody has gone off the wayside. And so the statue is a reminder to us of helping those around us, to guide those who may not be as fortunate as we are. And so she expressed that the way we get out of this pandemic is through compassion, making sure that everyone is okay. So looking over our shoulders or looking around us to see how others are doing. And she said, this is probably the best way that we'll be able to get out of this pandemic situation. And I found that such a beautiful expression. And so she called it the vaccination of the heart. And as I was listening to this, I realized, you know, our services are in fact a vaccination for the heart. And in fact, our loved ones who have passed away during this month of January, they are actually our spiritual guides. And they are reminding us as we gather here today, they're giving us another opportunity to realize what is true and what is important. And they are looking over their shoulders saying, is everybody okay? Are you okay? And as we come together and share in this service, again, we are reminded of the oneness that we share with our loved ones, but also we are reminded that we need to continue to share compassion with others as well. And so as we go through 2022, I hope it will be a year that we do grow out of this pandemic, but at the same time, a year in which we all together look over our collective shoulders to make sure that everybody gets out of this together in oneness. And so at this time, I'd like to close my Dharma talk by reciting the name of the Buddha or the Nembutsu. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Once again, thank you all for joining us, both in person and via Zoom for our Shotsuki monthly memorial service. And if you wish to do so now, you may, you're welcome to